Hello, welcome back to my channel. I want to tell you a story. This story is real. It is about something that changed my life. I want you to imagine a moment. It's a busy Thursday afternoon. You're in a crowded coffee shop, on a call with a client, but your mind is a million miles away. You're distracted, your thoughts are a convoluted mess, and you catch yourself zoning out while someone is talking directly to you. You feel this knot of perpetual anxiety in your stomach. And then, for one fleeting, luminous second, you remember the night before. You were so certain you had a brilliant idea, a galvanizing vision for a new project. But now, it's a nebulous, ungraspable ghost of a thought. You remember the feeling, but the details are gone. What if I told you that for years, my life was a relentless series of moments just like that? Moments that I experienced but didn't truly live. That I was a ghost haunting my own story. My name is, and I am here to tell you how a simple, almost trifling habit, the decision to record myself a lot and frequently, was the most potent decision I have ever made. For the longest time, I was what you might call a professional reactor. My days were a monotonous blur of responding to emails, rushing to meetings, and ticking off tasks from a never-ending list. On the surface, I was successful. I had a good job, a social life that looked effervescent on Instagram, and all the trappings of a modern ambitious person. Yet, there was a quiet, insidious truth. I was a spectator in my own life. I was physically present in countless moments, but emotionally and mentally, I was an external observer. A study from Yale University found that taking photos to share on social media can make us remember moments as if we were an outsider, not the protagonist. I was living that experience even without a camera in my hand. I would have these long, heartfelt conversations with friends, only to later realize I couldn't recall a single poignant detail or the precise feeling I had. My memory of my own life was like a photograph with a corrupted file. The image was there, but the colors and emotions were gone. This wasn't just a matter of forgetfulness. It was a deeper, more fundamental problem. I felt a deep-seated, tacit pressure to keep moving, to keep chasing the next thing, so I never made time to process the last thing. I was like a ship perpetually sailing away from its own safe harbor, convinced that more was always better, never pausing to look at the wake I was leaving behind. The turning point was quiet and, in retrospect, profoundly humbling. It was a Saturday evening. I was sitting on my couch, staring at my laptop, trying to write an email to my team about a project I had just completed. My mind was a complete blank. I had a gnawing feeling of dissatisfaction, a vague, melancholic sense that I had worked so hard, but for what? The project was a success on paper, but I couldn't connect with any sense of fulfillment or pride. I was in a moment of existential chaos, and like Maurice Villarroel, the life logger who started his meticulous logbooks during a chaotic period in his life, I felt an almost desperate need for self-assessment. I wasn't thinking about a YouTube channel or a social media strategy. I just needed to make sense of the tangled mess of my thoughts. So, I did something audacious and deeply uncomfortable. I picked up my phone, turned on the camera, and started talking. No script, no light, no audience. I just talked about the day. It felt awkward, clumsy, and honestly, a little foolish. I was so reticent that I could barely look at the camera. I felt like an egocentric zealot. But a few minutes in, something shifted. I realized I was externalizing my inner turmoil. I wasn't just talking to a camera, I was having a conversation with myself, an honest, no-holds-barred conversation that I had been avoiding for years. The first few weeks were an excruciating exercise in discipline. I had to fight the urge to delete every video. I had to consciously shift my mindset away from thinking about likes, views, or comments, all the things that social media addiction had trained my brain to crave. I told myself the videos were not for anyone but me. The intrinsic value of this habit was not in external validation, but in personal transformation. And then, something powerful began to happen. When I started watching the videos, I was initially mortified. I noticed my posture was terrible, my voice was sometimes weak and hesitant, and my facial expressions didn't always match what I was saying. It was a strong wake-up call, but it also helped me see where I could improve and grow more confident. I wasn't just documenting events. I was cultivating a deeper level of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. I started to notice patterns. A tough conversation with a colleague would often be followed by a spike in stress or an impulse to grab fast food. The practice allowed me to identify my emotions and their triggers in a mindful way, and it became a potent tool for personal growth. My communication skills improved dramatically because I was constantly practicing articulating my thoughts clearly and concisely, not just reacting impulsively. The real and most profound shift came when I started to use my recordings for reflection, not just to review my day, but to analyze my journey. My video diaries became a tangible record of my progress, a galvanizing visual that reminded me how far I had come from that apathetic, distracted version of myself. It was no longer about documenting the what, but about understanding the why and the how. It was about transforming my life from a passive experience into a deliberate, intentional act. Looking back now, my video diaries are not just a collection of memories. They are a living, breathing time capsule. They are a retrospective view of my journey, a tangible testament to my growth. I can revisit past versions of myself, not with shame, but with a sense of understanding and gratitude. I can hear the nervous hesitation in my voice from that first video, and I can see the quiet confidence that has grown over time. I have come to realize that we can't become what we need to be by remaining what we are. The version of me from 2 years ago, trapped in a life of emotional detachment, could not have become the person I am today without a conscious, deliberate effort to change. This habit was the tool that made that effort possible. This practice has taught me a simple but profound truth. The difference between an unexamined life and a life lived with intention is self-reflection. It is the simple act of pausing and asking yourself, what went well today? What was a challenge? And did my actions align with my values? I am no longer a prisoner of my past because I have taken the time to understand it. And I am no longer an observer of my own life because I have become the protagonist. So, if you're sitting there right now, feeling that same kind of perpetual anxiety or that feeling of being disconnected from your own life, I have a challenge for you. Don't wait until you're confident or perfect. Don't worry about editing or music. Don't worry about your voice or how you look. Just do it. Right after this video, I want you to pick up your phone, turn on the camera, and record for 60 seconds. No script, no filter. Just talk about your day, how you feel, or what's on your mind. Take that one small, courageous, spontaneous step and see where that one habit, that one small act of self-reflection can lead you. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I'll see you next time.